Partnership with the US Embassy is to roll out the fourth installment of its entrepreneurial learning journey for young people who are looking to get their businesses from idea to implementation phase. Now, the program is currently open for applications and would love to encourage entrepreneurs, especially in Gauteng, to apply for this opportunity. And for more on this, we are very pleased to be joined by Mr. Madlongolwana, who is the founder of the Desert Startup Bootcamp. Mhlanganisi, a very good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much, Alicia. Great attempt on my name, by the way.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Do tell us all about the Desert Startup Bootcamp. What are we talking about here?
So we're not taking people
to the desert on boot camp.
Well, that would be an interesting exercise.
Absolutely.
But no, not really. So our thinking behind the Desert Startup Bootcamp was basically creating ecosystems of startups in communities where they don't exist. Yeah. I myself come from a rural community in Applicants. That's where we hosted the first bootcamp.
Yeah.
And the thinking there was basically each and every ecosystem that is great in the world that hosts businesses. So Silicon Valley, if you look at Tel Aviv, if you look at China, these are ecosystems. It's not just entrepreneurs trying to slug it away and getting businesses, but it's actually people that are supporting the entrepreneurs, where entrepreneurs live, investors, and I've had the privilege of working in such ecosystems, and we thought it would be great to replicate that model.
Now, you're talking about this, it's actually looking to get young people that are looking to get their businesses from idea to implementation phase. Definitely. How do you assist them through these steps?
So we do an entrepreneurial learning journey, which is about 3 months long.
Yeah.
And through that process, we go through the basic building models of building a business model. So you need to look at the value proposition, understanding the value proposition, understanding finances, which are difficult lessons that we learn as entrepreneurs.
We don't even want to learn about. You say finance, people just automatically switch off.
And those are the rough lessons, right? And so those are the lessons that we then go through. We then plug mentors in. So people who have great experiences, we're working with some really great mentors, and we've worked with some really great mentors in the past that are actually helping entrepreneurs walk through the journey. I think what's interesting in this journey is that you would put down a specific training program. So the one thing is we don't do training. Okay. We do the living journey of the entrepreneurs. So we're saying, you have an idea, let's go out, let's go do validation, speak to the people, speak to the potential customers, and that then becomes the journey.
How has this initiative been received, particularly where you come from? And of course, we do know that a business startup in South Africa is a nightmare of note. And of course, why partner with the US Embassy? Why couldn't you outsource something locally?
So the background of the program is that I was a Yali Fellow in 2014.
And context.
Yes. So I was a Yali Fellow in 2014, and I had the opportunity to do an internship in Silicon Valley. So worked with another fellow, Samantha Beck-Bessinger, who's in Cape Town. And so we worked on the program and in Silicon Valley, and decided, how's about we replicate something, one that supports entrepreneurs, two that gets entrepreneurs to connect. And we thought about it and we said, look, provinces like Gauteng, provinces like the Western Cape, to a lesser extent KZN, have urban areas where entrepreneurs are able to connect to resources. Now, I come from the Northern Cape. I come from Appington in the Northern Cape. We're famous for being hot and very little else.
36 degrees.
41 yesterday. And so because of that, we thought, why not catalyze startup ecosystems in these provinces? And that was 4 years ago. The interesting stories, for instance, is we found a guy there who's called Earl Miller. Earl converts used cooking oil to biodiesel for farmers in Steinkopf. Right?
What?
Exactly. So it's his context. He's innovating in that area, and he's currently supplying the people in that area. He's moved on to then get mixed funding of about 150,000 rand from investors because he had a good business model. And so there's some really great ideas that have come through the program, 4th year in. We're excited about what's coming up this year.
With the drought recently in the country, I'm sure you're also looking at new water techniques as well. But let's talk about the applicants and the people that you're talking about. When you say entrepreneurs, I think it's such a rounded off word. It's going to scare off some people. But what kind of applicants are you looking for or can participate? So
we need you to be crazy enough to come and sit with us in the first place. So there's no sane entrepreneur. I think it's important to highlight that. So we're looking at people between the ages of 18 to 35 primarily, but we've also had some really great applicants who
Do
are
they have
older.
to have any business background?
Not necessarily. I, for one, went into business with no real background at all, and
But
I
that's
didn't
how
know
you
what I was
learn.
doing it. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why we call it an entrepreneurial learning journey. And so we wanting those people. We need you to be crazy enough. You need you to just have a great idea, right, and be able to follow up that idea. The reason why we're doing it through 3 months is because, one, we want you to understand that it's a real journey. You need you to be able to make that time commitment. So every Saturday from 10 to 2, we in the American spaces, in the Eskiam Pahlele Library in Pretoria, and then in the second half of the year we'll then be rolling out at the May Jameson space in Soweto. So we're covering the whole of Gauteng currently, and possibly going back out to the Western Cape where we've been before, to the Northern Cape and Mpumalanga, and there's a vision to go to Limpopo as well.
All right, so you're trying to crisscross the whole country. Very interesting initiative, but how are these young entrepreneurs going to benefit from this?
So one, they have a business. That's the most important thing, and they're selling stuff. So we don't necessarily give certificates, and we always say to people, no certificates. We don't give any prizes for anything. What you have here at the end of this experience is your business, is your passion that's come alive. There's a young lady that makes lingerie for plus-sized women.
Wow.
And she's just kicked off now. She's doing about 300 units a month.
What?
That sounds a little, but if you think about it, when she started last year, she had nothing. There's another lady who builds swimming pools, by the way.
Wow.
And so these are the stories that are coming through the boot camp, and these are people that are actually turning over businesses and employing people, and those are the sort of crazy upstarts that we're looking for.
We're always talking about how people must actually identify what their area needs before going into business. Look, where can people get more details about the Desert Startup Bootcamp?
So what we're doing right now is we're pushing a lot of social media. So you can get in touch with us on the US Embassy Facebook page. You can get in touch with us on Twitter at @mhlanganisi_. You can get in touch with CAF Southern Africa, which is SA_CAF, which is also an implementing partner with the program. So we have some really great people behind the program who've been working with us, and we're excited about
Tell us more about your partners before I let you go.
So yeah, definitely. So CAF Southern Africa, for instance, runs a lot of employee volunteering programs.
I just want people to know it's a credible program.
Exactly. Employee volunteering programs on behalf of some really big partners. The US Embassy, obviously, who has been an implementing partner since 2014. They've been really grateful.
Has the local government jumped into this?
So,
I mean, they should be.
Well, we're actually looking at conversations currently with the city of Tshwane through CAF Southern Africa. And so there are conversations happening, and also the sort of the Department of Small Business Development, and these are conversations that are happening as we grow traction, as we show results, and that's what we're excited about.
Mhlanganisi, I'm going on that website right now.
Definitely.
I think I'm between that age group gap that you actually mentioned there. Thank you so much for joining us, and best of luck with that great initiative. That was Mhlanganisi Madlongolwana, the founder of Desert Startup Bootcamp. Go get all the details. Up next is your weather details.